We're counting down 10 watch brands where your money buys a logo, not a timepiece. From $3 movements hidden behind designer dials to markups exceeding 2,000%, every brand on this list exploits licensing deals, fabricated heritage, and influencer armies to disguise commodity parts as something worth your hard-earned cash. Some of these names sit in every mall in America. One costs roughly $10 to build and retails for over $200. By number 1, you will never look at a fashion watch the same way. Let's start the countdown at number 10 with a denim empire that does not make a single watch it sells. In 10th place, Guess serves up a denim logo over a $3 heartbeat. Not a single watch on their shelves comes from an in-house factory. Instead, every Guess watch is the product of a licensing deal with Timex Group, assembled in China or Thailand, and stamped with a fashion label that costs more than the parts inside. The build cost is under $90, with a zinc alloy case and gold tone plating so thin that XRF lab tests measure less than 1% actual gold, and you can expect it to rub off long before the battery dies. The crystal is plain mineral glass, scratching at a Mohs 5 or 6, a far cry from real sapphire. Pop off the back, and you will find a generic quartz movement that wholesales for about $3, the same as a drugstore special. Retail tags, though, start at $150 and climb to $299, so buyers are paying a denim premium of 100% to 232%. There is no in-house research and development, just marketing budgets that dwarf the cost of the actual components. When the watch breaks, the warranty swaps it for another, no repairs, because fixing a $3 movement just is not worth it. In the end, what you are buying is not horology, it is a Guess logo glued to a $10 mechanism. Number 9. Hugo Boss trades on European style, but leaves the actual watchmaking to Movado Group and a Chinese factory floor. Behind slick Swiss-inspired marketing, every Boss watch is a licensed accessory, not a product of German or Swiss expertise. Flip over a $350 Boss quartz and you will find Made in China stamped on the case back and a generic Miyota movement inside, the same engine you will find in $25 fashion watches, not a luxury ticker. The crystal is basic mineral glass, scratching at a Mohs 5 or 6, so even pocket change can leave a mark. Water resistance is stated as 30 or 50 meters, but with no ISO certification, it is marketing, not engineering. Movado's own SEC filings classify Boss watches as licensed products, not core horology. Meanwhile, the price tag climbs $200 to $400 for a watch that is all surface, no substance. For the same money, a Seiko 5 delivers a real automatic movement, a tougher crystal, and decades of watchmaking heritage. With Boss, you get Euro style on the dial, Chinese mass production under the hood, and a markup that buys you a brand, not a timepiece. In 8th place, Nixon rides a surf skate image straight into the shallow end of performance. The dials shout 100 meters of water resistance, but independent tank tests tell a different story. Leaks begin at just 30 meters, and there is not a single ISO 22810 certification in sight. The promise of ocean-ready toughness unravels fast when the caseback lets water in before you even hit snorkeling depth. Under the hood, it is a generic Japanese quartz movement sourced from Shenzhen that can drift by minutes per month, and owner logs and lab audits have clocked daily gains or losses of over 45 seconds, turning punctuality into a guessing game. Battery life? Expect about 12 months, not the 3 to 5 years you would get from a well-made quartz. Despite retail tags of $179 to $250, there is no in-house engineering, no proprietary sealing, just mass market parts in a fashion shell. All the money goes to marketing. Their Instagram is pure lifestyle, but the watches themselves are built for the feed, not the waves. For the same cash, a $70 Casio G-Shock delivers ISO certified 200 meters of resistance, shock protection, and a reputation for surviving real abuse. Nixon sells the look of adventure, but under pressure, the performance sinks. Number 7. Diesel cranks up the spectacle with cases so oversized they could double as wrist armor. Think 55 to 57 millimeters of pure billboard. But behind all that bulk, the real story is much smaller. Every diesel watch is a product of the Fossil Group's licensing machine, churned out in the same Chinese factories as Michael Kors and Armani Exchange. Pop the back off a $250 diesel, and you'll find a Miyota quartz movement that wholesales for $8 to $12, about the price of a movie ticket, not a mechanical marvel. The crystal is standard mineral glass, and it will scratch if you so much as glance at a brick wall. But the real party trick is on the dial. Those sub-dials and pushers look like they belong on a chronograph, but teardown videos reveal most are glued-on decorations, not connected to anything, no extra gears, no hidden complications, just theater. The retail price, though, sits at $225 to $300, so the vast majority of your money goes to licensing fees and marketing, not watchmaking. Diesel's mechanical lineup is non-existent in the mainstream range. It's quartz or nothing. The oversized case adds weight and flash, but does nothing for performance. In the end, you're strapping on a costume piece, a big, loud prop with a tiny, generic heartbeat. All show on the outside, all savings under the hood. Number 6. Stuhrling Original spins a tale that would make a novelist blush. The brand's official story starts in 1865, but dig into the records and you'll find Stuhrling Original LLC was registered in Brooklyn, New York in 2002. That is a 137-year gap filled by pure marketing fiction, not horological heritage. It is not just the backstory that is manufactured. The watches themselves are assembled in Shenzhen, with off-the-shelf Chinese movements that wholesale for $5 to $15, yet the retail tags shout $650 to $795. Here is the punchline. These watches are never actually sold at those prices. Archive snapshots from the Wayback Machine and discount listings on JomaShop and eBay show permanent markdowns of 60 to 85%, with models listed at $399 routinely moving for $60 or less. The fake manufacturer suggested retail price is the business model, an illusion of luxury built on a foundation of endless sales. Crack open the case, and you will find a generic automatic that loses or gains up to 30 seconds per day. A far cry from the tighter tolerances of even a basic Seiko. The crystal was marketed as Cristerna, but lab tests confirm it is just mineral glass with a hard coat, scratching at a Mohs 5. Warranty support is a 1-year affair, and water resistance claims are best taken with a shaker of salt. In the end, buyers are not getting Swiss tradition or technical value. They are paying for a Brooklyn-invented myth and a price tag that exists only to be slashed. Number 5. MVMT built its reputation as a scrappy direct-to-consumer disruptor. But that indie myth ended in 2018 when Movado Group snapped up the brand for around $100 million. So much for grassroots. The formula did not change. Take a watch that costs about $20 to build, movement, case, crystal, and strap included, then sell it for $150 or more. Inside, it is the same Miyota quartz module you will find in a budget fashion watch paired with mineral glass that rates about a 5 on the Mohs scale. That means your keys or a stray coin can leave a permanent scar. As for gold plating, XRF tests show it is so thin, well under 0.5 microns, that it will vanish after a few months of wear. There is no sapphire, no mechanical movement, and absolutely no in-house engineering. What MVMT does have is marketing muscle, with over 1,000 paid influencers and an ad budget that dwarfs the cost of every component combined. Every scroll through Instagram is another MVMT pitch, engineered for the feed rather than the wrist. The brand's quality control is slightly less chaotic than the worst offenders, but buyers are still getting a watch that is designed to look sharp in photos and little else. For the same money, a Seiko 5 gives you a real automatic movement, a tougher crystal, and actual horological heritage. With MVMT, you are buying a Movado-owned marketing shell, sold out, literally, where the story costs more than the watch. Coming to the top 4, Vincero wraps itself in the language of Italian luxury but delivers little more than a synthetic shell. The dial, advertised as genuine marble, is actually a polymer veneer. Lab scans confirm it is stamped plastic, not stone. With just a fingernail, that faux marble peels away to reveal raw metal and a streak of cheap adhesive underneath. Buyers expecting old-world craftsmanship get a $199 watch assembled in China from generic parts, with no traceable movement supplier and zero evidence of Swiss or Italian involvement. Owner complaints pile up on the Better Business Bureau and Trustpilot. Crowns that fall off, bezels that jam, dials that bubble or flake after a few months. The warranty process is a maze. Endless email loops, return shipping at the buyer's expense, and refund offers that barely cover the hassle. Under the dial, the movement is an unspecified quartz module, likely the same $3 to $8 part found in dozens of fashion watches priced at half the cost. Marketing focuses on moody Instagram photos and big claims about heritage, but the real story is fragile construction and a parade of dissatisfied owners. For $199, buyers get a fragile, photo-friendly prop built for likes, not longevity. If it looks like marble but peels like plastic, it is not Italian luxury. It is a $30 watch in a $200 costume. Coming to the top 3, Movado's Museum Classic takes a genuine design icon and turns it into a mass-market costume. The original museum dial, created by Nathan George Horwit in 1947, is a landmark in minimalist watch design, just a single gold dot at 12 and a sea of empty black. Movado has every right to celebrate that legacy. But beneath the famous dial, the modern Museum Classic is a different story. Open up a $495 Museum Classic, and you will find a commodity quartz movement with a Miyota-type module that wholesales for less than $10. The build cost for the entire watch, including case, mineral glass crystal, movement, and strap, rarely exceeds $50. Yet the retail price can reach $800 for quartz models and over $2,000 for automatics. Here is the kicker. The dial is almost identical across all tiers. Whether you are buying the $500 quartz or the $2,000 automatic, the visual difference is nearly zero. That is by design. It blurs the line so buyers cannot easily tell what is under the hood. Corporate filings show most museum classics are assembled in Asian OEM factories, not in Switzerland, and the crystal is plain mineral glass, not sapphire, so scratches are inevitable. This is heritage monetization. Movado licenses the museum dial look, then stamps it on everything from entry-level quartz to luxury automatics, cashing in on the design's cultural cachet. For buyers, it is RT on the dial, but plastic under the crystal. A $495 price tag for a watch that costs less than $50 to make, with the rest going straight to marketing and a logo premium. What you are really paying for is not horology. It is the privilege of wearing a museum piece that has been mass-produced for the mall. In second place, Invicta runs a perpetual pricing circus where the sale is the real product. Nearly every Invicta model goes live with a fantasy MSRP, for example, $1,950 on the tag, but price trackers in the Wayback Machine reveal those watches sell every day for $179 or $219, never even sniffing the supposed full price. This is not a seasonal discount. It is a psychological anchor engineered to make buyers feel like they are snagging a luxury deal. The trick works at industrial scale. Invicta floods the market with hundreds of SKUs, most differing only by dial color or bezel, so each one can be on sale somewhere, all the time. Under the hood, the story is far less dramatic. Pop the case back, and you will find a generic Japanese automatic movement, usually the Seiko NH35 or similar, wholesaling for $15 to $25. The crystal is marketed as Flame Fusion, but it is really sapphire-coated mineral. Lab tests peg the hardness at around 5.5 on the Mohs scale, so expect scratches after a few weeks of regular wear. The cases themselves are massive. 48 to 52 millimeters is standard, with oversized crowns and pushers that add bulk but not substance. Water resistance claims read 200 meters on paper, but teardown and water test videos show gasket failures and leaks straight out of the box, making even showering with an Invicta a gamble. The real kicker is the sheer volume. Invicta's reference list is a tidal wave of near clones, each one ready for another fake markdown. The bottom line is this: Invicta is not in the business of watchmaking. It has perfected the art of the endless sale, using fake MSRP values, oversized cases, and a flood of SKUs to create urgency and illusion. What you are really buying is a ticket to a pricing theater, not a timepiece built to last. And finally, in first place, Daniel Wellington sets the gold standard for selling a logo and little else. The numbers do the talking. A typical Daniel Wellington retails for $230, but the total build cost, including movement, case, crystal, strap, and packaging, lands somewhere between $10 and $20. The movement itself is a $2 generic quartz module, the same kind you would find in a $12 drugstore watch. The case is hollow base metal with a snap-on back, not a screw down or anything engineered for durability. Mineral glass covers the dial, which means it scratches at Mohs 5 or 6. Keys, coins, or even a gritty desk will leave their mark. The nylon NATO strap or faux leather band adds about $1 to the bill of materials. There is no in-house design, no mechanical option, and absolutely no investment in horological substance. What Daniel Wellington does invest in is marketing. Tens of millions poured into a global influencer network. More than 1,000 paid promoters flood Instagram and TikTok with the same minimalist wrist shots, all pushing the illusion of timeless British heritage. But the brand was founded in Sweden in 2011, and the so-called classic design is just a generic template bought from Chinese OEM catalogs. Teardown videos show the internals: snap-off casebacks, no water sealing, and movements that cost less than a cup of coffee. Warranty is replacement only. If it breaks, you are getting a replacement, not a repair, because fixing a $2 movement is not worth anyone's time. There is no pretense of watchmaking, just a relentless push to turn a $10 commodity into a $230 identity badge. For the price of one Daniel Wellington, you could buy a Casio G-Shock for real toughness, a Timex Weekender for versatility, and a Seiko 5 for genuine automatic movement, and still have money left over. Daniel Wellington is the purest example of fashion marketing over function, all logo, all margin, no substance. It is not just a bad value, it is the final boss of overpriced, underbuilt watches. Across all 10 brands, one pattern is impossible to ignore. Marketing budgets eclipse manufacturing costs, and bold claims mask bargain bin components. In this industry, you are not buying craftsmanship. You are paying for a logo stitched to a fantasy. That's the lesson. The real luxury is knowing what your money actually buys. Watch the dial, but read the fine print. Drop your own watch horror stories in the comments below.